Namaste. My name is Monica Gruber, or my students call me Lali. I'm the author of the book Ayurveda and the Feminine, and today I'm going to be reading you chapter 3. Women are creatures of cycles. So, have you ever heard anyone say Father Nature? Nobody says Father Nature. It is always Mother Nature. It is an undisputed fact that across cultures, religions, and centuries, Earth has been revered like a mother. And Earth has a cycle. She's the yin of the yang, a manifestation of divine energy that sustains us. Her gravitational force, her bounty, and her body sustain all living beings. She is our energetic mom, our energetic mother, and we are her daughters energetically. So, what is the spirit of this non biological mother of ours? She does everything in a cycle. Everything rotates and repeats and comes back cyclically. Rotation of Earth around her axis of the sun causes cycles of day and night as well as season. Earth's cycle causes cycle within the entities that reside in her. So when I wrote entities, entities is a word that we use in ashram, but the word in Hindi for entities is pranis. Prani means anything that is pran, anything that is vitality, anything that has life, whether it's plants, it's creatures that live in the sea, creatures are flying in the air, creatures in soil, creatures on earth. So all of us have a cycle. For example, I've given this example here. Trees shed leaves and become dormant in the winter and they wait for spring. Fragrant buds and flowers burst forth out of her in the spring. And there is also a harvesting time for plants and fruits. Now, in this time, we're all quarantined and we are in a situation of a pandemic. One of the things, the very first thing that is gone is a sense of routine, like a daily routine. And in Ayurveda, if we do not have a routine, if we do not have a seasonal routine, a daily routine, a nightly routine, then it starts hampering our balance because we have natural circadian rhythms, right? We have a natural internal clock that is set with the sun, and then our internal clock is also set with the moon in the nighttime. We also have another internal clock that is set up with the change of seasons. Just like plants are doing things in the season, we also, like if you have a kapha woman, her, portions of her go dormant in the winter. She's just cold. She is cold. She's not, she's not gonna, for example, you don't want ice cream, lots of cold drinks and ice cream and ice in the winter because that part of you goes dormant. So following a daily routine, following a seasonal routine, really, especially in this time of pandemic, will help balance us. So going back to Mother Earth, since we are part and parcel of Mother Earth, we are pranis or entities that reside in Mother Earth. We also have a cycle. Every culture and every religion, most ancient societies live their lives in sync with the cycles of Mother Nature. In fact, this term defines Ayurveda. These cycles are so important because if we could align ourselves with the cycle of nature, then that's the start of healing and balance. Following the circadian rhythms created by the solar cycle and moon cycle, and following a seasonal regimen is an important part of this synchronicity. It is essential to recognize that we daughters of Mother Earth are creatures of the cycle. So basically, because we are part of her, we're part of Prithvi, we are part of Mother Nature. If she's happy, you're happy. You gotta keep mommy nature happy, girls, sisters. So why do we think you and me, we women, we love flowers, we love gardens, colors, and beauty? Because we are part of this Mother Nature. We are daughters of Mother Nature. Since we're talking about cycles, let's also touch on the cycle of life and death. We are born, we do our dharma, and we live our lives laid out from the blueprint of karma. We grow old and we pass on. But according to Vedic religions and Bhagavad Gita, whatever is born must die. And whatever has died will be reborn again. So we are reborn in a new body. Whatever takes birth in Mother Nature decomposes and returns in another form. Similarly, we also die and then we return to a different body according to our own karma. This is the cycle of life, birth, death, life again. So basically, all of this, in my book, as I write in chapter 3, it's all coming to that. Basically, we women have a cycle. It's a moon cycle. It's a monthly cycle. It's also called a ritu. And one of the big cycles is that we get, as soon as we hit puberty, we start bleeding every month. Periods come in, and that is one cycle. Before the period happens, we have usually the 3, 4, 5 days of PMS, and then as we have a child, then postpartum is another cycle, and then perimenopause, then which starts before we hit menopause. It can start 10 years before menopause. Menopause is complete cessation of bleeding in monthly periods for 12 months, and then postmenopause. Cycle upon cycle upon cycle. It kind of doesn't stop, but it finally does. So in this chapter, then I go around and talk about the cycle of the sun. And let's read a little bit about the cycle of the sun. Girls up to 12 years of age are called balikas. This means a girl who has not yet had a period. At the age of 12 or so, whenever the girl gets her first period, this is called menarche. There is a ceremony called Upanayan Samskara, almost like a Vedic version of Bat Mitzvah for 12-year-old boys. In ancient times, this was done for both girls and boys. This is a time when the 12-year-old received 3 sacred threats, mantras, and is given blessings to face the teenage years and his or her advent into adulthood. And in India, women after the Dark Ages were denied Gayatri or Diksha mantras, but this practice in our monastery was introduced by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the early 1900s. He called this, Vedic version of this coming of age. It's called Upanayan Sanskara. So Gayatri mantra is given. And then I get into the monthly cycle when the women start bleeding. And this is the most interesting. And it usually is connected to the moon. So in India, we follow a lunar calendar, which is also called Panchangam. And in the Western countries, we follow the Gregorian calendar, which is 365 days in most of the world. When I talk about how moon is affecting the waters of the body of earth, the waters in women, how it's affecting estrogen and so on. And I give some case studies as well. So I'm going to end here. Hope you enjoyed the little, I have behind me, you see the cover of my book, Ayurveda and the Feminine. This is the book. It's available on Amazon. Please buy it. Thank you.